And so we stand beside an empty, dying theatre. Welcome to the many deaths of Artemiy Burakh. Death 1.
Не тот вор, что крадет, а тот вор, что концы хоронит.
Is it my line now? Oh, yes, you're right. Here I go. Go back, my friend. The door is over there. Oh, you mean? Oh, no, wrong line. Let's try again. I was dead. I was dead. And then, death is never quick. Understanding is a process. Unpleasant, but avoidable. What is but a moment for an external observer may feel like a day inside, or a week, or if you're particularly unlucky, a year. A week sounds fine. As a director of our theatre, I will now inform you of the most important pillar of your role, silence in the audience. So, with each death of a new actor, we will all face irreversible consequences. Got it? Irreversible. Irreversible? Are you unfamiliar with the word? The world you're acting in changes with each stage death of our hero. Forever. Even if we had a chance to trick time, go back and start over from a turning point, the consequences of death would still remain. I'm not an actor, I'm a doctor. You seem to have confused me with someone. Bravo, great job. Keep up that demeanor. What demeanor? Any actor who continues Burakh's path in place of the previous Burakh will have it harder than their predecessor. Such is the theatre of cruelty. Each death makes the role harder. You will become burdened with the consequences of your predecessor's deaths. Their, negligence. What sort of consequences? Unpleasant and painful. You won't be able to make a step without a drink of water. How's that? What about being unable to touch a close one, or growing weak as a 5-year-old child? Your life force has literally dwindled, and it will keep dwindling with each consequent death. Each and every one of them. That's fine, I don't fear challenges. They make it all the more engaging. I warned you. Each new attempt will be harder. When one actor dies, the next will find themselves even closer to the abyss. Try to finish this piece in one go. You, personally, so that no one else has to replace you. Have pity on your successor. I'll touch clocks more often from now on, forewarned, forearmed. Didn't I make it clear that clocks won't help you? A clock is just a point from which a successor begins, but they still carry their predecessor's mistakes. Else we'd never solve this riddle. What riddle? I'll explain it to your successors if you fail. Clearly those will be beyond help anyway, those third-rate phonies, so I'll have to spell everything out to them. Wonderful. You're a curious person. You're a gratima surgeon, not a psychiatrist. The theatre of cruelty begins. Death number 2.
Один кинул, не докинул, другой кинул, перекинул, третий кинул, не попал.
Who are you? Rammed applicant. Can I have this role? Good. Your life force has dwindled. It will dwindle even further with each new death. If you're not scared, act. Anything else? I was thinking about taking away your hands. It's a useful limitation. Actors shouldn't flail around. They even tie their hands behind their backs sometimes. That encourages development of better facial expressions, body language, ingenuity in general. To take them away from your actors. I'm not one, didn't I tell? I'd like to see you try. Here's what I think. From now on, you will have a small additional burden. Maybe not even a burden at all. A trifle, really. Well, yes, let's start slow. You won't be able to hug anyone anymore. Ever. Who cares? Well, you won't be able to express affection. If you want to so much as hold anyone, you will have to improvise. I'll figure something out. As they say, watch my hands. Death number 3. A little imp. A dastardly creature. Did it slip out? Did you see it? What? We have this little demon around, a repugnant creature. Even though I grew kind of used to it, but now to skip from the theatre into the big world, it slipped out and I've got no idea what it dragged with him. Wait a second, it happened because of you, didn't it? You opened the door to come in, and he slipped out through the crack. I didn't come in through some door. It works differently for me, somehow. And it's up to you to find him. I'm not going outside, I'm too busy here. It's unheard of to have something escape into the town from our theatre. It's never happened before. I shudder to imagine the consequences. By your theatre, you mean this version here with the candles, right? Yes, this one. It took me 4 hours to place the candles right, by the way, so don't you dare step on them. I won't. Am I free to go? Go, just shoo. The rat is out. That's your punishment. He's your headache now if you find him. Just keep in mind, he's an act 2 in his own way. When he's in character, there's no use asking about the Theatre of Death. Better try catching him somewhere nearby. Theatre of Death? Oh, no, sorry, I misspoke. Anyway, why are you still here? Go! I think I understand. Kind of like theatre operations, yes? Back we go.
Руки, значит, в рукава, ноги в руки, а голову...
Hunger comes into play.
Голову оставим пока.
Meaning?
Не надо голову.
You know, that feeling when hunger turns to starvation, when it starts to kill you. That will come quicker now. It's alright. I'm used to an empty stomach. And let me remind you, your health continues to dwindle. Well, such are the rules. With each new mistake, every time you come to this stage. This is no stage, it's the gallows.
А хочешь, я тебе песенку спою?
Please don't think it's about capturing agony. I'm not the kind to burn models alive in an attempt to write truthful suffering. No, my interests lie elsewhere. It's not about cruelty or the inevitability of the end, the triumph of death. All of that is only a reason, an excuse. And what's your play about? Me? Undoubtedly it's about the person, the actor. I'm not the actor, I'm Artemiy Burakh in the flesh. Open your eyes, you clown. I need different actors to continue the same path, each starting where the previous died, so their interpretation of the character carries on. Here's my question. When does the actor become the character? When they get into character. The actor goes into town searching for inspiration, a role. He walks down his paths, and that is what you were about to do. Why do this in the town? Why not here in the theatre where you can see? Because outside the walls of the theatre, the triumph of death is real. That's where you must act, there, not here. Why isn't the stage enough? Because I don't care about your emotions, only your understanding. If the actor understands how to work with death, so will others, like me. Don't worry, though. In truth, what you see out there is a stage, too. It is also a model. like the one in the background behind me. What do you want? What do I want? A good play. No one's ever staged this one before. You must break away from your limits. I'm interested in that too. Push beyond the limits of the theatrical stage, of drama, of form. Push the actor beyond their role, the play itself, beyond this sorry theatre. Good luck.
А хочешь, я тебе песенку спою?
Your burden is heavy, Artemiy Burakh. How can we show that? Imagine rolling a boulder uphill, muscles trembling. What do you feel? Bearable exhaustion even without the boulder. You walk his paths, Burakh's paths, and they are so very difficult. Each step drains your strength, drives you closer to death. The paths narrow, shorten. You won't be able to meander as much from now on. I walk my own path. Tell yourself, I'm exhausted. I can't take it anymore. Feels natural, doesn't it? This admission could save your life. Take pity on yourself and stop in time. No, it's not my style. Such a paradox. To admit you're tired, is that a step towards death? A surrender, an admission of your natural limits? Or is it a step back to whatever happens before death? What is real life? To overcome weakness, one must acknowledge it. Wouldn't you agree? And so we begin again. Nice meeting you, fellow traveler. How's it going? Enjoying the play? What are you doing here? The director went out to have a smoke. Got exhausted, watching your torture. So here I thought, how about I pay a visit to my fellow traveler? He must be exhausted from his, unique vision. Very much so. Listen, fellow traveler, I have a proposal, and I'll be blunt. Would you like to stop all this torture, the punishment, the hunger, the pain, the divine plagues of Egypt you endure for each new death? What do you mean? Exactly what I meant. I'll replace you. I'm itching to act. You'll become strong again. No more hunger pangs. The bony monstrosity we've all seen on the square will vanish, and you'll no longer be punished for mistakes. You're about to perish without a single achievement. Look, how pale you are. No offense. And you want my soul in exchange, of course? Nah, I'm a light technician here. Lighting the way, so to speak. Immortal will listen to me, don't you worry about that. All you need to do is give your consent. No soul required. Alright, so what's the catch? Don't say there isn't one. If we strike this deal, you'll be free to die as much as you can bear. You can become death's next-door neighbor, so to speak. But in exchange, you'll lose something big and important, and I won't tell you what it is. Might hurt incredibly, but not at all. Give me what you don't know you have at home. Yeah, I've heard this one. Pull the cloth out of your brains and think about it hard. These aren't just words. I am taking something from you, the real you. No huge loss, though. Maybe. But you'll be able to walk the town. Take risks. Get into fights. Be daring. No deal. You want to take something the absence of which would turn any victory to ash? I don't know what, but I sense it. Are you sure? I'll only offer once. You won't be able to change your mind or rewind time. The choice you make now will stay with you until the end. I'm sure. I'll manage without shady proposals. Well, fellow traveller, you've made your choice. You go out there and I will act. I feel uneasy. No one showed up. Just look what you've grown. Unbelievable. The scale of your personality is staggering. Weren't you the rat that escaped from the theatre? Yes, a child of old theatrical ranks, the inhabitant of all musty places, the performer of a small but memorable role, the thing from below the ground. Can't give you an autograph, I'm short of hands. Enough. This humble stage's object's more remarkable than me. Fair enough. What are those pulls? See this ulcer? Metastasis in the world's body. It grew because you keep dying, you jackass. Your deaths are make-believe, but the world rot's real. That's how big a character you are. Impressive. I didn't understand a word of that. An ulcer, a tumour, an abscess, a boil. How can I make it more clear? You call yourself a doctor. Did you think that your deaths only concerned you? Marriage is inseparable from the audience. They're a manifestation of their expectations. So if you keep suffering, sooner or later, everyone will. My mistakes hurt the whole world. That's not fair. More fair than you think. But stop fretting. It's just a piece of wood. Or bone, maybe. Some pranker just stuck it in the ground, that's all. You just said, look. Whenever you find yourself in the theatre again and the stage is empty, know that I must be close. We'll continue our improvisation then. For now, enjoy your freedom and have fun swinging your arms. Keep my arms in check. Surgeon's hands are too valuable a tool. It grows bones.
Поистине ловок тот, кто умеет скрывать свою ловкость.
We're in mourning today. Lost yet another one. I'm glad you came to replace them. Perhaps this time we'll make more progress. Is that important? A question for the ages. Poignant in every generation. How can death be overcome? In our play, it's achieved by dividing a person. What do you mean? I mean that the path has a clear direction, like a bridge over the abyss. The bridge is lined with many segments. They overlap, ensuring its continuity and growth. The overlapping creates a single entity. The abyss is endless. You'll build your bridge forever. If that's what you choose to think, you might as well leap right into the abyss yourself. Me? I'd rather try. Just saying. In addition, when you cease to consider yourself as a person, as a name, as a body, you lose its impact. By measuring yourself not in names, but in attempts, you become invulnerable to death. So that's how death is defeated in your play? Not defeated. Overcome. It's not the same. And, well, there are different ways. Canes, for example, seem to believe that you only need to want hard enough and that you can achieve anything. Naivety. Not exactly. In truth, perhaps they believe we must reevaluate death and change our very perception of it. See it not as a universal law, but as a solvable problem. Some abysses can be crossed by bridges, and so on. So the bridge thing was their term. Thought it sounded familiar. People overcome death by pushing the limits of self-understanding, such as the limits that make a person perceive themselves as a body, instead of a sum of knowledge connected through unique associations. Consider yourself as being more like a kaleidoscope, and your life will become not compelling exactly, but more. I'm a surgeon. To me, living creatures are bodies. Well, how very sad for you. As long as you perceive yourself as a body, you will die over and over. In our play, a living creature is made of many bodies at once, which is what makes observing the sand pest so fascinating. Like any epidemic, it's structured according to the same principles. So you've noticed it too? That's not important. What matters is that I overcome my finite nature by dividing myself, then creating connections within that new creature. Without connections, everything is pointless. Like you all, with all your attempts, you're connected by playing the same role. Connections. Sure. Now I see. Once more.
Не тот вор, что крадет, а тот вор, что концы хоронит.
Well, if you're a surgeon, your sense of touch must be very keen. So, what is this item? What is it about? What's its point? It's warm, slippery, smells quite heavy. Sorry, is quite heavy. Smells of dampness and blood. What is it? It's the monologue of a madman who considers people to be mere actors in his show and himself the sole director. You know things by touch. You can feel their attributes, clear enough to not confuse a precious item with trash. If you do, you'll spoil the end. Trash, such as a surgeon who can't tell a liver or heart from wool. That trash. Such a person would turn our play into a puppet show for sick children. What does it mean? Where once existed living tissue, now you will find death. You don't believe me, though. You think I'm just trying to scare you. It's all make-believe to me. You've hinted at that more than once. Everything's living. Everything's alive. Cotton wool. Looks like stuffing of some sort.
Славны бубны за горами, а к нам пришли, что лукошка.
The next thing I'm taking from you is hope. Simple as that. Aren't you going a bit far? I need to work you loose. That's the whole point of this method. Simon's victory over death had nothing to do with him living past 211. He overcame death by accepting it and then dying. He didn't die, though. He dissolved into many living people. Getting close to ritual cannibalism, I see. Come now, don't take it so literally. Then again, as long as you equate a person with a body, cannibalism would remain your only way to overcome death. Absurd. False. Someone was not afraid of death, he accepted it. In that case, suicide would have been the best way to defeat death, but it's been scientifically proven that suicide is the shortest road to oblivion. Death must be overcome, not rejected. This is not the way. If you think you can avoid burns by leaping into fire, you're sillier than I thought. It's true, I suppose. Well.
Один кинул, не докинул, другой кинул, перекинул, третий кинул, не попал.
Hunger. dear Burakh. This time it's hunger again, in case the first limit seemed too lenient to you. It didn't. Just to show you what things look like. It's a good chunk off the end of exhaustion, 2 of hunger, sorry, health overall, a bit of exhaustion, a bit of hunger. Here we go.
Что наша жизнь? Сценическая импровизация.
You know how it works, right? You are Artemiy Burakh. Finish your story and try not to die. Please, help me understand. This is absurd. You're making it easier and easier for me to die while my goal is to overcome death, meaning not to die. It's a contradiction. No, it isn't. Am I supposed to stop fearing death? Not even remotely. How could you? Death is repulsive. We're looking for a sustainable way to, step over it. Not even run from death. As you clearly know, that would fail. By the way, which attempt is this? 13? Isn't it? And what? If I take risks and confront death head-on, all I get is another rock tied around my ankle. How is that logical? Like I'm the one burdening you with those rocks. Then who? Death itself, teaching me to overcome it, to push the limits? Death teaches nothing. It only waits. It's an abyss without will. The plague teaches, the town teaches. Conflict is educational. Such was Simon and Isidore's plan. Wait, what plan? Oops, too early. The play itself isn't mine, haven't I mentioned? They wrote the script, I'm just an interpreter, a prompter. You're Artemiy Burakh, right? So follow your father's path. That's your line, for now. Your bridge over the abyss. Build it and it'll come together. Unless the rocks, of course, drag you down. Why have rocks at all, though? I don't understand. I can give you several answers. A. It's not up to me. B. I'm doing this to mess with you. C. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you profit from it. D. So that you'd stop dying and finish your damn role. Which one do you choose? Go ahead. I know how I profit from this. One must be tough enough to withstand death's proximity if they are to face it often. That's the only way, is it? Drivel, you're wrong. Then how do I profit from this? I don't know. I just feel this way. To overcome death, you must come in close contact with it. But you won't defeat it by climbing into its maw, nor by running. It's different. How? I don't know. If I did, why bother with all of this? You tell me. How? I don't know either. Once more, an empty theatre. The rats are nearby. You know how one can tell a simple mole from a malignant melanoma? It's symmetry. Natural processes are symmetrical, an arm on the left, an arm on the right. Each action bears a symmetrical reaction, but illness is twisted, it grows old off to the side. Not all good things are symmetrical. To the contrary, actually. Its tumor is malignant. Well, I mean, I can fucking see that.
Да.
I see you have a question. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. So each new death brings me closer to defeating it? What do you mean each new death? We're not in a fairy tale. People don't come back to life. And what do you mean by defeating? And how? How is death overcome? Not defeated, mind you, but overcome. I told you already many times, by changing the attitude. Who dies? What dies? A person? What is a person? Their memory of a personal experience? Others' memories of them? A personality? A body? A soul? A personality. Use yours then. What if I define a person as a body? Remember the Keynes method. To solve the unsolvable, redefine the conditions. Why do you think there's only one body? My stage experiment proves Artemiy Burakh can have several. Bodies die, the person remains. Oh. Like a photon piercing several holes at once, a person doesn't equal their physical shell. A person is distributed. Distributed among many attempts, bodies, versions, interpretations. So that's one way to achieve immortality. What does this have to do with immortality? We're seeking transcendence, not immortality. You do understand that that's not the same. I do not.
Хорошая шутка не обязана быть смешной. Она должна быть
Exhaustion again.
красивой.
I keep thinking I've been exhausted for a year, and still. What about all those stories teaching us that resignation and acceptance sometimes lead to the true victory? Many wise men took exhaustion as a sign that death was a gift. Immortality is the curse of incurable exhaustion. It's a different kind of exhaustion, it's the spiritual kind.
Одному кивнул, другому моргнул, а третий и сам догадается.
God damn it, another applicant for this cursed role. Yeah, sign me up. Don't give me that smirk. You think you're different? Fine. Go ahead, prove it. Finish the play without dying. Become yourself. There must be a real Burakh somewhere out there, right? Perhaps, but unlikely. The real Burakh died not so long ago. Although, I've been wondering, if they're both actors and real people in the streets, can an actor meet their prototype? I guess, but they're strictly forbidden to interact with them. That ruin the whole experiment. The prototypes would learn they're being played, act unnaturally, aspire above their station. No. Wait. The actor follows a set path repeating the prototype's actions, right? Right. So what happens when the actor surpasses the moment that the prototype died? Bravo. Perhaps that is the instant where their nature changes. The actor gets into the role so deeply they become the original. If the charged particles can charge their nature, why wouldn't the same apply to the people charged with the same idea, dream, or bad fortune? Wait a second, where's the real person then? Why do you think there's only one? That they're limited by a single body? This is the abyss we need to step over to reinvent death. That's how I see it. What is the abyss? It's perspective. You're mistaking a moth in a spider web on your window for a monster on the hill. Remember that story? It is the monster. You're holding props,
Нет,
but I want
мы
to
не
see
марионетки.
real objects. Things turn to dry cotton wool in your hands.
кому-то да нужны.
I want to see them alive. But I'm not an actor, I'm just speaking with you out of curiosity. The world is dying in your hands. You're turning the living into the dead. Well, it should be the other way around. How do you do it? Doing everything as usual. No, it doesn't work anymore. You're not curing anyone. You're curing the wrong people in the wrong place in the wrong way. How should I cure people? Search. That's the point of the exercise. It's not my place to tell you. I'm just a prompter giving hints. I'm out of here.
Они совершенно сумасшедшие.
I don't
Ведут себя как
understand. Either
Вам
we're
с
doing
ними
great,
предстоит немало
or we are
возни.
utterly failing, and it doesn't depend on me anymore, only on you. You're a strange man, you know. Perhaps you set all this up deliberately? You're ascribing diabolical capabilities to me. Please give credit where it's due, which is to say to yourself. I'm blameless. All this, as you put it, started because of you, not me. I just took the chance to experiment in the heart of this triumph of death. Oh, so I'm at fault. Of course, you're a doctor. You could have prevented it like your father did back then, but you haven't. Which I deeply appreciate. 5 years ago, it rang false precisely because there was no triumph of death. We didn't let it into the town. No one was truly horrified. The actors didn't have time for realizations. A good actor doesn't need to be scared to act out horror convincingly. But my actors are bad. Unprofessional amateurs. We're in a hellhole, remember? I mean, look at yourself. That's what I have to work with. I'd like to be omnipotent, but I'm just exhausted, desperate director. Nothing more. It's an experiment, isn't it? So shut up and take it in stride. Once more, an empty stage. It grows. Farewell, Burakh. Farewell, why? The tumour is complete, see? The ulcer is ripe now, grasping at the sky with its metastases growing into it. Now it's under the ground forever, unable to escape. So now what? Me? I'm just a trash rat, Burakh. Field voles make nests from herbs, I make mine from rot, so to speak. I'll climb up there and inhabit it. Spitting down rot on your heads from above. How are you gonna climb it? You have no hands. It'll suck me in. And you too. It'll suck the whole world in. Because you've rotted it all. It just metastasizes and tumours now. None of us will have hands or feet soon. I'm sorry, funny rat. Hope you don't disappear completely.
Ну что, как вам наша игра? Захватывает?
I too get exhausted running the same scene with you again and again. If you don't care about yourself, have mercy on me at least. I'm not doing this on purpose.
Весь сегодняшний день
Hunger.
генеральная репетиция.
It's hunger again. Gave a cry of lamentation, gave a scream of pain and famine. Oh, the famine and the fever. Oh, the wasting of the famine.
Одному кивнул, другому моргнул, а третий сам догадается.
Dividing a person into a person and a person. Dividing a person into an assembly of separate though connected moments. Dividing a person into the sum of those who perceive and interpret their actions. Did I miss anything? Our shells are constantly renewed. Bones too, though slower. 10 years my body won't have a single piece of this current me. What about mine? It's up to you. Still, I think the experiment was a success. What makes you think so? I just do. I'm neither a philosopher nor scientist. I am, as one rude person has once put it, a clown. What is there to demand from a clown? But I sense that it was a success. Death is powerless when viewed like this. It's not about dividing a person, it's about the connections between the divided parts. How new pieces grow from the old. Connections, then. You and I understand the word differently, though. Wise. That answer is very much yours. What will continue you? My character.
Одного не знаю, другого не вижу, третьего не помню.
I may be mistaken, but it looks like you're just playing puppeteer. That's it, right? People are just puppets to you. Dolls. Admit it. You haven't learned anything, have you? I'm a student of a certain famous director. You're ruining the experiment. You're turning real acting into puppetry. You've no right to do that. It's so disrespectful. Is it hard for you to live? Inhabiting the current circumstances is your job. I'll give you one more try. Do better this time. Disrespectful. Look who's talking.
А хочешь, я тебе песенку спою?
Death's but a word, a collection of letters. We only need to keep it unnerved. What does that mean for us? What does that mean for us? That's it. There's nowhere else to go. We're still trying. That deserves respect. If you can figure out how to overcome death even now, burdened with all possible limits in a world completely mangled and rotten, then it was all worth it. It's the first time you said something nice to me. Go. Act. From now on, I will watch you with genuine interest. You were clearly doing this on purpose, meaning you must be beginning to understand. To be honest, no, it wasn't on purpose. That was a hunch. In any case, you've become an interesting subject. Finally. Both you and your idea of Artemiy Burakh. So, act. Well, I hope I never have to see you again.
Неправильное место много способствует наступлению летальных обстоятельств.
The door opens. But the lodger stays.
Неправильное место много способствует наступлению летальных обстоятельств.
The door opens. And an ocean is heard.
кои-то веки удалось коту с печки спрыгнуть.
Look who's
И
here.
то лапки отшиб.
Time to get real then. Want to come round? Let's see if it worked. So, what do you think? Are you back?
Back where?
Who are you?
What do you mean?
Who are you?
No one.
Who are you?
The man who tore this town apart and bound it back together.
Where are you?
I'm, everywhere.
I was desperate at first. I thought we'd failed utterly. Like the astronomers of old, you know? The eclipse is short. It ends in the blink of an eye, and we missed the chance to observe and calculate everything we needed. The next opportunity is a century out.
Observe what? Calculate what?
Humanity. Their limits, their struggle to conquer death. This play wasn't the best. A flop, honestly, but it wasn't useless. I see it much clearer now. I know how to improve it. Next show will be better.
Flop? Yeah, you're too harsh.
We chose the wrong hero. Someone who didn't fear death at all. Disrespectful, crude, and flippant. We use a different archetype next time. A person obsessed with the idea of defeating death. Death's nemesis, so to speak. Someone who has studied it.
Good luck with the smartass. He'll surely win.
Death cannot be defeated, but it can be overcome. Not by prolonging life, no. The Struldbrug method is ridiculous and stupid. People aren't yet strong enough to bear their own internal hell or rid themselves of it. That is not how you overcome death. We have found the way.
I'm all ears.
How many of you were there here? Actors who played the Haruspecs.
Don't remember. No, I didn't count.
Where was the real Haruspecs?
Gradually the actor became him. They would only act the part while replaying a section and become the Haruspecs upon unlocking new events.
How does one overcome death?
Transcend the self. That's what the Surpass tried to do. Depersonalize us.
The body is susceptible to death, as is the self. As is any being trapped within its bounds. They invite death the way a lantern invites insects. But that which is broken into many bodies, many selves, many perceptions, that thing can resist it.
You're right. To connect two things, you must first break them apart, because connection implies difference and previous separation. Only connections defeat death.
I have been in a multitude of shapes before I assumed a consistent form, as an ancient poet once said. Who are you?
I'm Artemiy Burakh.
Our work here is done. You can go to the dressing room and take off the costume. Remember the place? It's where you started. Good luck. And thank you for taking part in our daring experiment.
Another trap? I don't want to choose a door. What if I stay here? In the theatre? Maybe even take your place? Would you like that, dear Mark Immortal?